Welcome everyone to our Thursday live stream. How is everybody doing? We're going to try to run this thing pretty quick. It's hot and it's very uncomfortable. So, we got two major stories to discuss here. One is Violent J absolutely losing his mind on CM Punk randomly. I mean, just very random. And the second is the absurdity of Shane McMahon in AEW. It's absolutely absurd. So we're going to get into both of those stories here today, and hopefully everybody's going to try to have some fun with this. And it is absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous what we're looking at here in terms of brain dead things. This Violent J thing has really put me in a weird space, bro. Like, I'm really looking at this thing and saying to myself, what is wrong with these folks? And why would you do such things? Why would you make such claims? But we'll get into that in a second. First, I want to say hello to everybody and welcome everybody to the show. We haven't done a live stream in a while. It's been so hot. I didn't want to turn off my fans or my air conditioner or anything like that. And because of that, it would have been unfair for me to do the shows and have like stuff going on in the background. But I still do have a fan on now. I don't know if you guys can hear it. Hopefully you can't. But we're gonna have to work through it because I do want to talk about this stuff. I don't want to do individual videos about it. And I really could, but I'd rather just do this. Let's just do this because it's been a while since I've done a it's been a while since I've done a video. Okay, so let's talk about Violent J first. Let's do our hellos and then we'll do the Violent J story. AJ3, hello. Mohammed Belhassin, how you doing? Stone Mexican guy, what's up? WG Phil, how you doing? WG Phil is a fan of the Insane Clown Posse. I've seen him do multiple posts about Insane Clown Posse. This is his right up his alley. So I want you to be, if I could bring you on stage and verbally berate you for being a fan of the Insane, everything these guys touch turns to absolute grape Kool-Aid blob filled with arsenic. These guys fucking suck. And you should be ashamed of yourself for being a fan of them. These guys are terrible. And look, my dislike of Philip is pretty strong, but this is insane. So, Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse tweeted out, "Fuck CM Punk for life. You wouldn't shake our hands in TNA, little bitch. And you clown, only the real friend you ever had was Colt Cabana, you bitch. I shared my bank account with my mom before she passed, you little insensitive bitch. You little heartless alien." He then goes out, he went to the notes pad, so you know he was serious. So you know he was serious because he went to the notes pad and said, "Fuck CM Punk for life. You wouldn't shake our hands in TNA, little bitch. And you clown on the real friend you ever had, Colt Cabana, you bitch. I shared my bank account with my mom before she passed, you little insensitive bitch. You little heartless alien. Suck my dick, you little weak bitch. Couldn't beat a jobber in UFC, you fucking nearly pathetic little joke. Come beat me up, bitch. You suffer inside everyone. And they mama knows that. Get your head right, you little suffering ass bitch. VJ of Insane Clown Posse, just as legendary as you, little bitch. Face it." What drugs is this guy on? Look, the Insane Clown Posse has been around in wrestling for 20 some odd years. They started their own wrestling promotion what was this, decades ago? Over 10 years ago, they started their own wrestling promotion. They're more famous for being cult leaders than anything. But how do these people listen to this music and like these people? Like, I read what he wrote, and it literally reads like some retarded fourth grader wrote it. It's terrible. It's absolutely shitty. And then he tweeted out all of this stuff out of nowhere. And I'm looking at the Insane Clown Posse account. I'm not seeing anything that lead up to it. It's absolutely comes out of nowhere. It comes absolutely out of nowhere. And it's stupid to me that this whole thing is about CM Punk not shaking their hands in TNA. Well, this had to be 20 years ago. He's talking about this beef over not shaking their hands is 20 years ago. 20 years ago. I am 100%, absolutely 100% down for this. I am I am down for this. I don't know where you can do it. I don't want these guys on WWE TV. Absolutely not. If this means these guys get into AEW and poison that show, great. But the Insane Clown Posse, bro, get them the fuck out of here. Who takes these people seriously? How do you hold a grudge over somebody not shaking your hand for 20 years? Who are you that he was supposed to shake your hands 20 years ago? I don't get, and it came out of nowhere. It's not like somebody, I don't know. Was there an interview that I'm missing? Because I looked and I didn't see any interviews. It's just, he just dropped this on Twitter or Instagram or whatever and just left it. And I'm just sitting here like, what, dumbfounded that this dude's got to be like 50, right? How old is this fucking guy? How old are these people? Let's take a look at this real quick, because these guys were popular when I was a kid, and I'm 40. He's 52. This guy is 52 years old. His name is Joseph. Old man Joseph. Are you serious? You're angry about this guy? I'm looking at his Wikipedia account because where else would I know where to find this shit, right? He's not from Detroit, by the way. They represent Detroit, but they're not from Detroit. He's from Berkeley, Michigan. I don't even know where that is. Maybe he spent some time in Detroit, but he ain't from here. I'm not gonna lie. When I was younger, I still didn't get this. I didn't understand the Insane Clown Posse thing. I didn't understand it when they was in WCW. Joseph Frank Bruce. That's what his name is. Joseph Frank Bruce. Is there something special about his last name? Yeah, it's Joseph Frank Bruce. Bruce. Violent J. What happened to the other guy? Is the other guy dead or something? Oh no, he's still alive too. He's only 49. These dudes are way too old to be beefing with these guys. All his names are first names. That's how you know he's trailer trash. Oh my God. That's how you know he's trailer trash. He just hit the pipe one day and just decided, fuck CM Punk, and he's going to spill his feelings all over the internet. Man, what? I want CM Punk to really get petty and talk about this guy, but he's not gonna. He ain't gonna, because it would make CM Punk look pathetic. But this dude is 52 years old. He's still painting his face. I don't know if is he still rich? Is he still famous? I don't know. When he made his little rant against CM Punk and made, Entertainment Weekly, a couple of other sites talked about it, but this is pretty ridiculous. And why is it so far off? Like CM Punk said what he said about Colt Cabana over a year ago. It was 2 years ago, up thereabouts, right? When he made the comment about Colt Cabana sharing a bank account with his mom. That was like 2 years ago. So the initial thing about the beef is 20 years old. The blow up about, well, I used to share a bank account with my mom. Well, bruh, that was 2 years ago. What is the impetus for you to spaz out right now? Why are you mad now? There's nothing that he said that's not true. He said all things true in here. Punk is a little bitch. He is insensitive. He might be a heartless alien. He is suffering inside, but I don't know how we got to how he wrote this with the lack of punctuation and things. I don't understand how that works. But I said Punk was miserable like 2 or 3 years ago when he was calling AJ Styles racist and all that kind of stuff. I was like, this guy must be miserable. He's he's a 46-year-old dog dad. I don't know why he married some girl who wouldn't give him babies. It was just weird to me. They've been married for like 10 years and no children at all. Very weird. I'm always weirded off by people who've been married unless she can't have any, or he can't have any. Then that's just kind of the dice you roll. But I'm floored that all of this is very stale, and it's still something that is disgusting. A 52-year-old man who still paints his face like a clown is they're involved with the NWA. Is that what it is? Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. I didn't think about that. And they were in 2023. Oh, they were involved with the NWA last year. So that means I probably saw it. I haven't watched NWA recently. I haven't seen anything from the last about month or two. So oh yeah, I guess he still is involved with the NWA. But this had nothing to do with wrestling. But I do know that they're about to start another wrestling show. Because I did see that right before this whole blow up happened. Is that they want to start another wrestling promotion. And let's look at it again. Because I want to make sure that I'm right. Now, Marky D123 did a video on their first wrestling promotion, Juggalo Championship Wrestling, which was founded at the height of their popularity and when they were on WCW. It looked like shit, and they went out of business. I don't know how many shows they actually did, but apparently they're going to bring back Juggalo Championship Wrestling, or they're starting a new one. I'm not sure, but I did see that recently. I've been looking. And I'm not seeing how it's okay. So I guess Juggalo Championship Wrestling is still open. It's just very, very small. I don't get it. I don't. This has nothing to do with wrestling anyway. They have a news site, Juggalo News. What is going on? Who are these people? Like, really? I got to give them credit. This stuff has been going on for 20 some odd years, and they are still popular, I guess. I don't get it. If they was holding they do hold wrestling shows still. Yeah, they still have Juggalo Championship Wrestling. I'm looking at their website, and they had a show as recently as February. So Juggalo Championship, I guess they just about to start a new TV show. So the promotion never went out of business, I guess. So they're about to start a new TV show, is it? It was something like that. What terrible stuff this is. This guy is 52 years old, brother. This dude was in the ring with like Mike Awesome. Oh, here it is. It was on Yahoo. I knew I had read it somewhere before. Juggalo Championship Wrestling announces new series, JCW Lunacy. Juggalo Championship Wrestling has announced the launch of a new series named JCW Lunacy. Rap group. I guess technically what they do is rap. Juggalo Championship Wrestling have announced the launch of a new series named JCW Lunacy. Rap group ICP Insane Clown Posse founded the promotion in 1999. Following stints in WWE, WCW, and ECW, they have put on events consistently since then and look to expand with a new series for streaming or TV in the near future. The shows will air on a bi-weekly basis and will be another entry into an already impressive list of wrestling shows on the air, with stars like Willie Mack, Colt Cabana. So there it is. Colt Cabana is going to be on their stupid ass wrestling show. So then they decided they were going to attack CM Punk out of loyalty to Colt Cabana, who's going to be on their bi-weekly TV show. Are these people not still rich? You mean to tell me that Court Bauer can run a show? Well, his show is not weekly. They should be able to run a show weekly. Just tape it for YouTube. Fucking they gotta have more money than the guy who runs GCW. Brett Lauderdale, they gotta have more money than Lauderdale, right? What the fuck did Lauderdale do before he became a wrestling promoter? That he would have so much money. These guys have been famous for half of my adult life. They should have money to run a wrestling promotion if they wanted to. Who would want to wrestle for them? I guess if you washed up or never got there, Willie Mack, I'm sorry to see it. James Storm, bro, you 15 years over the hill, and Colt Cabana is a nobody who all the indie nerds hyped up. And apparently they're still making appearances for NWA. It says JCW Lunacy stands out as a unique showcase that aims to, quote, captivate audiences with its high energy matches, compelling storylines, and unforgettable in-ring action. Wow. Could you be more vague? That's what every wrestling company looks to do, to captivate with high energy matches, compelling storylines, and unforgettable in-ring action. What are you going to do different besides all of your fans being fat and wearing face paint? You're gonna sell Miller Lite by the keg next to this joint? Who is the fan base for this shit? The series will feature wrestlers from around the world, including talent from NWA, MLW, TNA, AEW, AAA, and Big Japan. Oh my word, have mercy. And this thing is still not over. Violent J says, quote, I enjoyed having an eye on Billy Corgan and NWA. We're both rock stars running healthy promotions on Rockstar money. Billy has been running wrestling shows pretty much as long as we have. We're both alphas kind of thing, and we're friends. Well, I really like him anyway. Chase, he's not sure whether Billy Corgan likes him or not. I just like hanging around Billy Corgan. I don't know if he likes me. Maybe he does Smash some more Pumpkins. God damn, the Smashing Pumpkins and the Insane Clown Posse both running wrestling shows in 2024. Are you serious? Are you serious? I was watching MTV as a kid. I never would have imagined. Never would have imagined this. What happened to the business I love? Anyway, he continues. JCW has had lots of success, and we're looking forward to bringing it back. I have kept an eye on many wrestling promotions and think they're missing something. I loved and admire the professional wrestling scene and what it become. I want to give fans an option to watch us along with their favorite wrestling promotions. And then they give us a list of people that will be featuring on their JCW Lunacy show. Willie Mack, the Brothers of Funstruction, who are guys from the NWA. The Southern Six, who are guys from the NWA, which includes Kerry Morton, the son of Ricky Morton. So he actually has something. Madman Pondo. Oh my God. Kick rocks with that. All right. Officer Cabana. Who is Officer Cabana? I don't know. James Storm, Ultimate Ellsworth. Who is that? Redwood Giants, Hurtful Kurt, and Painful Paul. What? Hurtful Kurt and Painful Paul. This is the worst kind of mockery of the business. Who the hell booked Painful Paul? Who booked this guy? Stone Mexican guy. You got to make a phone call. I know all you juggalos have like the phone number to these guys or something. Send him a text and tell him to stop doing this. Stop doing whatever drugs he's doing. He's been doing it long enough. Enough of this. This sucks. I'm looking at it and it sucks. Congo Kong is going to be involved with this. Congo Kong, the fat guy from TNA, is going to be involved with this. Oh, that's going to be a huge draw. You know what? Can't wait for this to air. I'm certainly going to talk about this on the show. I'm certainly going to talk about this. We're going to talk about the Juggalo Championship Wrestling. We're going to talk about it. Caleb Connolly, who is Caleb with a K, who is playing a gay character last time I saw him in TNA. Matt Cross, who was like 4'6" and bald. Why you bald, Matt Cross? And he's like 40-something. And Joe Galley, who does ring announcing. No, he does play-by-play for NWA. He's not bad. So the best person on your roster thus far is Joe Galley. Well, I guess Willie Mack is good. So they continue by saying, JCW Lunacy has, quote, significant interest from major television networks and streaming platforms. You a lying fuck. You're a liar. Okay? I know you're a liar. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. This is ridiculous. Wait a minute. They attacked Fred Durst? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole, but my God. What the hell is wrong with these people? Where do these people come from? The hills have eyes or something like that? I hate these people. I hate them. I had not thought about these people at all until they talked about beating up Phillip. That got my attention. Look, I don't disagree with nothing he said about CM Punk, but my God, is he not the right person to say anything? He's a juggalo. He's King Juggalo. He certainly shouldn't be talking. What is this about sex toys? Excuse me? There's some shit about sex toys. Insane Clown Posse's old publicist and attorney is suing the band, allegedly sexual harassment and a very uncomfortable work environment at her office at Psychopathic Records. From the details of the lawsuit, uncomfortable may be an understatement. Now we have to go read about this. Now we do. I'm sorry. I was going to move on to the next subject, but no. Let's keep it going. Let's keep going. Sexual harassment. Yeah, let's talk about this. Wait, this was from 2013? Wow, this is a long time ago. An 86 count formal complaint. There's no way I'm reading all that. ICP's former publicist, get that out, was subject to, quote, constant and pervasive harassment, including having a large dildo given to her while at work and being presented with, quote, vagina tighteners. Tighten that thing up, girl. This is terrible. This is terrible. And when I looked into it, Vice is the first thing that came up. So I believe it 100% because Vice would never lie to me. And the gathering of the juggalos. Get the fuck out of here. So, Andrea Pellegrini, who was their legal counsel and publicist, she filed an 86 count lawsuit. Oh my word. She was mocked, belittled, and the subject of sexual advances from top level persons at ICP's label Psychopathic Records. Pellegrini was, quote, asked to do illegal and or unethical things at her job, including being asked to obtain automatic Tommy guns for a photo shoot. Tommy guns? Well, she had a time machine? She's gonna go back to the 1930s and buy a Tommy gun from Al Capone's men? Where's she gonna get a Tommy gun? That sounds like a dummy mission. Man, he gonna go down to the Smithsonian and get a Tommy gun? Where the fuck you gonna get a Tommy gun in 2013? You went and worked for a record label called Psychopathic Records. Of course they're gonna give you a dildo and tell you to go buy some Tommy guns. Hey, where's our Tommy guns that we sent you to get? What the fuck? You can't be serious. Where's our Tommy guns we sent you to get? She was called a bitch and her cunts by her supervisors. A coworker named Dirty Dan Diamond, pulled her hair and told her he had a fat cock and would like to fuck her. Oh my word. This guy also gave her a dildo in a velvet bag. At least he was trying to be classy. For her birthday, after learning via Facebook that she'd recently become single. Hey, heard you got dumped. Here's a dildo. He was trying to be friendly. He was trying to be friendly. He heard you was dickless, so he was going to try to help you out. This is terrible. Oh. The Gathering of the Juggalos 2012, A Living Hell. This section describes Pellegrini's experience at last year's gathering, where she was apparently so petrified of her coworkers that she actually brought mace to the event. Don't you have Tommy guns? Why didn't you bring the Tommy guns? This is the perfect time to have a Tommy gun. You're at the Gathering of the Juggalos. She brought mace to this event. Her lodging arrangements were changed at the last minute, leaving her forced to travel with her coworkers who were verbally abusing her regularly. She was also compelled to endure bathrooms, quote, often full of naked male strangers, otherwise called trans. Most people, see, this is 2013, right? Imagine some little girl today says, I have to be in a bathroom with, quote, often full of naked male strangers who call themselves women. Nobody will have to bat an eye. You be called a transphobe. But in here, it's sexual harassment. Funny how times change, right? She was reduced to tears on multiple occasions and eventually sent home. Oh, my goodness. The Tommy guns didn't work. The mace didn't work. All of this was happening the same day she was driving me around in a janky golf cart. Let's talk about the writer. This is how Vice writes things. Many consider juggalos to be America's meth-addled, inbred spawn a demographic so mind-numbingly moronic that they don't know what magnets are. They don't know what magnets are. But you know what a Tommy gun is. Go get me that Elliot Ness. You motherfuckers, what the hell? Oh, it's not really a surprise that ICP and their employees were engaging in a sort of harassment, which can lead to cruel brushing aside of the whole a human may have been sexually harassed part of the story. You don't know how magnets work. So they quote some tweets where fans are making fun of the girl for going to work at a place called Psychopathic Records and not listening to their music, apparently. One of the tweets says, "Insane Clown Posse, apparently not the upstanding paragons of virtue their music suggests." They don't know how magnets work. They're like barbarians or gorillas or something like, how this thing do what it do? Why this do work like that? Why it work like that? What is wrong with these people, brother? Pellegrini works for a company that produces a product that some people find offensive. Therefore, she should have anticipated being harassed and abused to the point where she feared for her safety. Obviously, that's bullshit. See, this is Vice standing on their platform now. The writer is on her soapbox. I'm pretty sure it's a woman. It's standing on her soapbox and like, she doesn't deserve this just because she went to work at a place called Psychopathic Records for the fucking Insane Clown Posse. It's a cult. Even I knew that when I was, what was it, 15. I knew it was a cult. They're walking around with multicolored hair in spikes, and their faces are painted. It's a cult. I literally have not thought about Insane Clown Posse this much in the whole adult life. Just haven't thought about this since like 19. This is ridiculous. Okay. The writer says, even if a guy spent his days listening to nothing but ICP's angrier songs, he should know that his coworker doesn't want to hear about his cock, no matter how fat it is. Well, she didn't say she didn't want to hear about it. He found out she didn't want to hear about it. Jesus Christ. This is terrible. What does ICP say about the case? The allegations are untrue. Mrs. Pellegrini was terminated for poor job performance. What? She did not get the Tommy guns, guys. That's what poor job performance. They told her to go get Tommy guns. She came back sans Tommy guns, so she got fired. That's the only thing I got here. Nobody will be surprised if ICP and their cadre eventually has to pay for the emotional distress inflicted upon Pellegrini. Juggalos are basically America's pop culture Roma. We tend to see them inbred, drug-addled thieves searching for their next rape victim. I thought I hated juggalos. I don't hate juggalos nearly enough. This guy hates juggalos. I applaud this guy. I love it. He hates juggalos, bro. There's just no way, there's no wrong way to go about that. I'm going to read that all over again because it's right and it's pure. We tend to see them inbred, drug-addled thieves searching for their next rape victim. Actually, it's entirely possible that ICP will end up settling out of court rather than facing a jury made up of people who think they are face-painted trailer trash who should be in prison. There I go again, defending juggalos. I'll stop before I go any further. Oh, it's a man. Well, it's a man who wrote this article. Benjamin Shapiro. Shapiro, is it? Shapiro, is it? This is amazing. This is amazing. What an amazing story. And I never would have known about this had Violent J never opened his mouth about Philip. So the crazy thing is, it's not even aimed at them. It's aimed at somebody else who works for them. So this is kind of a misleading subject. This is me being legit. I laugh at juggalos, make fun of them, yada yada yada. It wasn't Violent J or Shaggy 2 Dope who did this. You know, it was somebody who works for them that did this. You know, so whatever. Wait, they're on the FBI gang list, the Insane Clown Posse. Oh my word! Oh my God! The rabbit hole gets deeper and deeper. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to do it. So Shaggy 2 Dope, or I'm sorry, Violent J, please shut the fuck up. I love to watch weirdos fight though, so I hope CM Punk just comes out and says something crazy. Excuse me, what is this about a glass dildo? What's up with these guys and dildos? I don't understand what's going on here. So apparently, I'm looking at Spin magazine now. This is from 2014. Kid Rock was contacted and told to produce a glass dildo. It says if it turns up, the dildo will serve as evidence that Pellegrini's colleagues made inappropriate sexual advances. Okay, what does that have to do with Kid Rock? Did they give her a deal? Did they give him a dildo too? Because apparently Kid Rock was in possession of a glass dildo. What does this have to do with her lawsuit? I don't know what it has to do with her lawsuit. Unless they just regularly gave people dildos as gifts. Which is shrugs? I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out what's going on here because now Kid Rock is involved, and since he's a wrestling fan, I feel comfortable getting just keep continuing with this. I'm trying to read Rolling Stone, but they blurred it out, so I need like a. I don't want to have it by like a. I don't want to have to buy anything to figure out what's going on. I don't care this much, but okay, there we go. Okay, so this Dirty Dan gave Pellegrini a glass phallus, a glass dildo. He gave it to her. How did Kid Rock come in possession of the glass dildo? That's my question. I'm trying to figure out how did he come in possession of this thing. And I'm just so enamored with this now. I'm trying to separate myself from it, but I can't. It's so stupid. It's so insanely stupid. Okay. So glass dildos, it is what it is. These guys, very, very weird. The Insane Clown Posse's been going on since 1994. Oh, that's longer than I thought. Their lawyers have all this stuff online. They're counterculture. I bet they are. Wait, they was involved for something else. Well, that's very interesting. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the Shane McMahon thing because I want to hang this up pretty quickly. 1989. That's how long has it been going on? Oh, y'all have patience. 1989. Yikes. Absolutely. No, you're at 52. So yeah, that makes sense. That lines up. They're old heads. They're a lot older than me, and I didn't think they was that much older than me. So very strange thing. We had fun with that one. That one took me by surprise. I had fun with that. Let's talk about Shane McMahon and AEW real quick, because it's a subject that really I feel like it's a waste of time to discuss. But because
last week,
Jim Ross and Conrad is involved, I'll humor it. So it's not that Ben Shapiro. It's just some other guy named Benjamin Shapiro. He doesn't look like Ben Shapiro. He looks like he might actually have fun, but he also looks like a stick in the mud. Because if you see how he wrote, he's clearly a male SJW, as they call them, a male feminist. But he clearly hates ICP enough that he gets some level of applause from me. These guys don't know how magnets work, and they wanted a Tommy gun. Bro, I'm never going to get over that Tommy gun thing. 2013, they had Tommy. Well, they started. Okay, so Insane Clown Posse started in 1989. It says the label was founded in 1991. So that shit was going on longer. I was 5 years old. You know, well, for starters, let's not count Insane Clown Posse as Detroit rappers. Let's start right there. They're not Detroit rappers. Okay, they may frequent Detroit. They may live somewhat in the metropolitan area. Shaggy Two Dope is from Wayne, Michigan, which is in Wayne County, which is where Detroit is. So technically, they might be in the same county, but I don't think Violent J's from the same county. But I hate most Detroit rappers. I mean, it just is. Some of them are good. Most of them trash, and I haven't heard anybody within the last 15 years that was any good. So Low Key says, I hope Punk brings in Eminem into the feud. He hates them too. Well, that was the last time I even heard about the Insane Clown Posse, is when they was getting dissed by Eminem. So to my great surprise, they're still around. They're still alive. I thought, well, the crazy thing is maybe they're so ubiquitous that I see them on TV and have not been thinking about them. Because I swear I was watching NWA around the time that they would have been featured. Well, at least that Violent J would have been featured. And I don't remember that at all. You know? So that's weird. But let's get into the Shane McMahon thing, because Jim Ross and Conrad Thompson they've been talking about it. They're pushing it kind of heavy. I don't appreciate it. So let's get it.
Last week we got a lot of chatter online about some of the things we talked about. But one conversation in particular really stuck out, and people were talking about it. And it was about the idea of Shane McMahon possibly working with AEW. And if you recall on the program, you said it's so crazy to think it might work, depending on how it was positioned or how it was introduced. Right. Shane called me the other day. He's called 2 or 3 times, which I really appreciate. He's always been sensitive in that respect. That's only a question that Shane could answer. Shane and Tony being together, how would that work creatively? Heck, who knows? It might be great. And I saw a few fans, one in particular, who thought this was the most ridiculous thing he'd ever heard. And one
yeah, I'm that guy. I'm just not hearing about it. And I'm that guy. Why the hell would Shane McMahon go to work with AEW? For what? For what? The crazy thing has got everybody's dander all up. Now they talking about it. Oh, it's going to be great. It could be great. Really? What is Shane going to do, really? I mean, didn't he blow every ligament in his leg last time we saw him? He blew everything. The MCL, ACL, meniscus. He just tore it all up. His shit collapsed like that bridge in St. Louis. You know? Who was it? Baltimore. Whatever city that bridge collapsed in. That his legs just fell apart. Okay.
In particular, said JR's fucking senile now. And I thought he is. And I engaged a little bit with that. Yeah. And there was a friend of ours, I'll say, I shouldn't say their name, but he went out of his way to text me and say, hey, that's not as crazy as you think. I know for sure that Shane McMahon has reached out to wrestlers on the AEW roster to at least hypothetically discuss the idea. Now, are we saying that's going to happen? No. But we are saying it's not that crazy of an idea. No, it could happen. It could happen, right? Yeah.
Are you serious, bro? Is this what we have to? Is this what we have to dig into in order to try to get people to talk about AEW? How much money would Tony Khan have to give Shane McMahon to do this? I'm telling you, if Shane McMahon was to make an appearance for AEW, that one son of his, Declan, is going to disown him because Vince is already, he's little Vince already. And he's already said on record that he don't watch AEW. So if his daddy shows up on AEW, he's going to disown him. So it's going to be weird. Like people think Vince hates Shane already. Imagine if he went to go work for Tony Khan, which would have to be the scenario, by the way. I don't think Tony Khan would sell him a piece of the company. And unless, especially since Stephanie went back to the company. It's not that Triple H is running it. Stephanie came back. To have Stephanie in WWE hanging out with Triple H and Shane over in AEW hanging out, that would be weird. That would be weird. And that's just, humor in this. It would be weird. There's enough wrestlers in AEW that when Conrad Thompson says, like, oh, he reached out to he probably just talked to Chris Jericho and Edge. He probably just talked to Christian. Like, these are people he's known for his entire life now, since he was like 26 or something like that. They were all in the Attitude Era together. They probably hung out. There's tons of stories about, Shane McMahon riding with the boys for a long time. He rode with guys like Raven. Raven is actually one of the reasons he got shit canned from the production job he had was he kept getting Shane drunk. So, he probably is friends with some of the guys who work there, Edge and Jericho and Christian and, some of the other guys. Probably know Sasha Banks. And probably just tossing ideas around, having some fun with these people. And these folks are like, he might come in. He might. Like JR, he called to see how you were doing, man. He not. You think he's sniffing around for a job? He doesn't need to work. I don't know. I've heard a lot about this whole Shane and Triple H, power struggle. They don't like each other. They don't have I also heard this whole thing about Shane and Steph. It don't matter now because Vince sold the company to the Jews. But we're in a different time, bro. I don't think it'll be fun. Let's again, we're entertaining the idea. It would be fun if Shane showed up on AEW. It would be fun immediately. It would take them from the doldrums that they're in right now with no energy, and it would immediately pop the territory immediately because something like that would be major. Of course, the moment it happens, however, people would think that he's a sleeper agent for Vince. That's probably why you wouldn't want to do it. Is you probably don't want people thinking that, oh, Shane's just there to scope out the territory to see what's going on, to snuggle up to Tony Khan, and next thing you know, the old man's going to show up, which would turn the whole territory around. But hey, look, let's say, again, assuming that this whole thing is real and there's some plausible story to it, Tony Khan should spend whatever is going to whatever it takes to make it happen. Even if you don't do anything but make him an on-air authority figure temporarily, it would be worth it. It'll be worth the money. I would go for it if I was Tony Khan, and this is a real story. I would.
Absolutely, it could happen. And how he could be utilized as a character on television, that's what I'm talking about, is viable. I mean, he's got great name identity. He's got people who recognize him. So, hell, I don't know. I would say it's a long shot, less than 50-50 that he would re-engage in pro wrestling.
Less than 50-50? I would say less than 70-30. I would say less than 70-30. I would imagine, however, because they did this with Vince, that when they bought the company, and by they I mean Endeavor, they considered all of these possibilities. I would just imagine they already put Vince under a non-compete. Vince is already under a non-compete, so he can't compete against Endeavor if he wanted to. That was one of the deals, along with his intellectual property, that they gave him when he sold the company and became executive chairman or whatever the hell he was, right? I would imagine they probably sent Shane McMahon a same contract with some money, asking him not to compete against Endeavor. Stephanie, same thing. And if they didn't, they're stupid. If they didn't, they're stupid. And maybe they're stupid. I don't know. But pretty much anybody that had the last name McMahon, I would get them some kind of non-compete and ask them not to go over to AEW or try to start your own wrestling company. And since Shane McMahon was the guy who wanted to buy Pride, he also wanted to buy UFC. I think he also floated the idea of buying Bellator. And since Endeavor owns UFC as well, I would imagine that also includes MMA. So I wouldn't count on it. I wouldn't count on it. WG Field thinks NDAs are illegal. They are not illegal. They are not illegal. I think you meant non-competes. And non-competes are only illegal when they're being fought in court. Technically, the whatever government body is standing over that. What they did was you can still have non-competes for executives and high-ranking members who have institutional knowledge and stuff like that. But for regular rank and file workers, they did throw out non-competes. They haven't done anything to NDAs yet. Well, NDAs already don't cover criminal activity, so paying somebody to go away and it's a crime, it's that doesn't really work. But I would imagine that they sent, but Shane he was under. It would depend on what kind of contract he had when the company was bought, because he was certainly under contract. He had a talent contract, but maybe he also had some kind of executive position. It was probably kind of like, he's the president of Orange Juice and Lemonade or something like that, and he didn't have to show up to the office or come into any of the meetings, but he might have had some kind of office job just to give him a paycheck while he, walked around, coming up with his next spot. But what a joke. I think that they're having fun with it. I rolled my eyes as soon as I heard it, but I didn't expect the internet to take it as seriously as they're doing it. I really don't take this thing that seriously.
But I can't say that it's impossible, because it isn't. No. So
nothing's impossible, JR, for God's sake.
And he still loves the business. You know, he called while my last hospital stay. He stayed right on top of it, and he's a sensitive guy. He takes after his mother, and that's a good thing because she's a nice lady. Yeah, he's just he's out there. He's out there. So, I mean, who'd have thought? Who'd have thought? Who'd have thunk it, as they say? But I don't think it's anything that's that we're unable to do. It can be done. It just depends on what he wants to do. Does he want to get back in the business, or no?
Why would he want to get back in the business on AEW side though? That's the crazy thing. If he want to get back in the business, he got a brother-in-law right there. He got a sister right there. Even if there is some kind of thing going on between the two of them, I wouldn't imagine he would go out of his way to spite them to do that on purpose. That would be some real heat, I would imagine, around the dinner table, you know, for Christmas and Thanksgiving, that you working for the competition. Now, if Shane showed up at like TNA, that would be great. You know, it might be fun. But still, he can't wrestle. He's 50. He's like 52 or something like that. How old is Shane McMahon, for God's sake? Yeah. How old is Shane McMahon? Let's take a quick look. You guys probably gonna figure it out before I do. But he tore everything in his legs last time he tried to wrestle. And it didn't quite go the way he wanted it to. He's 54. He's 54. That 54. And now Wrestle Talk has 6 AEW plans for Shane McMahon debut. Man, get the fuck out of here. All right? Shane McMahon will be like Billy Gunn on that roster. It says here that he's 6'2", 230. Well, that's got to be a work. That's got to be a work. Because he's always been one of the smaller guys. So he's probably 6 foot maybe. But just no way. I can't imagine him doing this. He's at 54 years old. He goes over to AEW to apparently just wrestle. I don't know. He ain't tweeted nothing since like 2017 from what it looked like. What a joke. But they're very serious about this thing. And all the AEW fans are like, I would love to see that. I bet you would. It'll be a CM Punk level shot in the arm. That's for sure.
And time will tell as far as that's concerned. I'm not advocating it happen, yay or nay. But to say that it's impossible,
it's just silly.
It would not be true. It is silly. Anything is possible in this crazy business.
Yes. If we've learned nothing else over the last few years, it's never say never.
That's right.
Last week we got a lot.
See, when I kept seeing the quote float around, I wasn't seeing that JR was involved. I saw that Conrad Thompson was the one pitching the idea. And this is, well, not pitching the idea as much as the guy who says, oh, I know what's going to happen. I know what's happening. Dude, get out of here.
No, absolutely not.
Just like there was all these people who keep talking about a bunch of other people like Goldberg working in AEW. It's like most of these guys don't want to be in AEW, man. Like only the Mark thinking dudes and the guys who want to make some real money or guys who want to take a break go to AEW. I personally would think it would be fun if Shane McMahon showed up. But it would be fun for like 3 or 4 months. Because it'd be so surreal that it would take that long for it to sit in. But then, of course, as soon as you start booking them for matches, it's going to be weird. So I wouldn't, if I was him, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even consider it. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if Tony Khan isn't asked about it. Have you been in conversation with Shane McMahon? It's probably Jericho. Of all people, it's probably Jericho, if I'm telling you anything. All right. It's ridiculous. I don't know. Like Shane McMahon, I don't know what his creative vision is. I don't know. Because I know he helps with creative in WWE. But I don't really know what he has booked or what he came up with that I would think is interesting before I would say something like, yeah, give him the book. You know? I mean, he can't be worse than Tony Khan, but I also don't know, what he's come up with by himself. And I would be interested in that. That's why I hope he goes to like TNA so I can see what he can do. AJ3 says, remember Tony Schiavone after WCW shut its doors, he had a short run in TNA and we had a part-time job, so he was out of the wrestling business until AEW and Tony Khan brought him back. Yes. What does that have to do with anything we're talking about here, though? What's up, Special J? Nice seeing you, brother. Perma Virgin, how you doing? Let Shane book the show. Can't be any worse than what we're doing now. Well, it absolutely cannot be worse. Well, unless Scott D'Amore is doing it. And apparently Scott D'Amore, he can't go anywhere because he has a non-compete until 2025. So everybody's like, oh, he should come to AEW. He can't do anything for months. He's locked down for months. He got fired. That's crazy. That's sick. I think a non-compete or something like that should only really apply if you voluntarily quit. I don't know about if you get fired. He got fired. That doesn't seem right to me. Low Key says, if I was Big Daddy's ass, I would do everything in my power to sign John Cena to AEW and make appearances as the Peacemaker. Zaz is the head of WB and can sweeten the pot to Cena's Peacemaker contract. I think if you want to kill AEW and John Cena, go ahead and do it. Cena would know for sure that's the end of him. Like that would be it. Vince not there. I mean, he still can make money as John Cena in WWE, but if he showed up as Peacemaker on AEW, that would be crazy. And they're probably going to keep John under some kind of contract anyway, where he ain't gonna be able to make those kind of appearances outside of shilling the product. But maybe commercials for Peacemaker. Maybe you could do some kind of Peacemaker, like he's RoboCop or something like that. But I would imagine that if they do want to do some kind of integration with Peacemaker, it had to be somebody else in the helmet. It wouldn't have to be John. I just think that he would have more sense to do that. But then again, he also did Ricky Stanicki, so I don't know. What do I think about AEW pay-per-view archive being on Triller? Well, you didn't listen to the review. It just shows that Warner Brothers wasn't interested in their library. That's really all it boils down to me. If Warner Brothers was interested in their library, they wouldn't have it up on Triller. I think I was wrong though, because the old pay-per-views are like $10. The new ones are $50. But the ones from last year are like $10. So I think maybe the ones even older than that might be cheaper. So they're not all $50. What is this about Nick Ricciata's 9-year-old testing positive for cocaine? Oh my God, I have no opinion on that. If that's the case, I hope every adult is involved goes to jail. But I'm not getting into that. I watched a couple of videos on that subject, and I heard he started making videos again, and I backed out. I was like, you know what? When you're streaming and you're streaming 4 hours a day or whatever, and some of these guys are streaming, they're going and they take short breaks to go to lunch, or they take short breaks to go to the bathroom. It's like you're not meant to sit in front of your computer for 4 hours a day. Like That's not sensible. Don't do that. You know, do an hour or two and then get off. Go do something else and then come back and do another couple hours and then leave. I understand. That's why these guys get burnt out. They turn it into a full-time job instead of something that they can have fun with. And a lot of them just don't want to work on a regular job. They want to live off super chat money. Well, that's nice, but come on, bro. Think about your mental health. Sometimes you just don't want to be. And people don't understand also, there is a certain level of performance to what some of these people do. It takes a lot of mental energy because you can't leave dead air. You thinking on your feet. You get tired. You can't do this for 4 hours. It's just not sensible. 1 or 2 hours max, and then unless there's a reason why you're doing it for 3 or 4 hours. Like when these guys were covering like a trial and it was like an 8-hour thing. Okay, maybe you don't want to miss a segment of the trial. That's fine. But if you're playing video games, you shouldn't be playing video games for 4 hours straight anyway. Play for 2, 3, and then just I'm going on break. I'll be back in an hour. I'll be back in 2 hours. I'm going to take a nap. Or you keep yourself to a certain amount of time per day. I get that you want to keep your subs up and keep your lives, and you got a lot of competition out there. And if you only go 1 hour, somebody else is going to go 3 hours, somebody else is going to go 6. It's like, but you're gonna burn yourself out. So don't do that. Cena sold his soul to the CCP. Why not sell out to Zaz and DC? I don't think he's going to get a third season of Peacemaker. I think he's going to get a second one. He's probably not going to get a third one. And it'll be interesting whether he goes so hard for this one than he did for the last season. Because he went really hard for the last season to make it a success. But AJ3 says if Shane McMahon comes back to wrestling, that's the comparison. Oh, okay. I see. WG Field says Slade, he brought back attractive women on Raw Underground. Oh, yeah. Oh, that was his idea, huh? And then Medusa ruined it because she became a battle axe and complained. She whined. There wasn't no 60-year-old women dancing on that stage. So she was like, oh, how dare you? You're setting us back. Like, man, if you get set back that quickly, you weren't that far ahead anyway. Idiot. Dummy. All right, y'all. Thanks, everybody, for stopping by. I appreciate it. ICP looks stupid. Oh, my God. That was so much fun. So thank you, guys. I'll talk to you guys later.